Welcome back to another video. This is K-Time, and today we're going to talk about the Xiaopeng deck. Apologies in advance if I butcher the pronunciation of some of these cards. I don't know how cards are pronounced. But yeah, I actually went 3-0 at locals with this deck. The third time playing it. Did not do so well the other times, but yeah, without further ado, let's go into the deck profile. This list is heavily inspired by the one posted on Huang Zero's YouTube channel, and a link will be in the description, so definitely check that out. It's definitely more competitive and detailed profile, so if you want to see more about the deck, then I recommend checking that out too. But without further ado, let's go into the deck profile. For the eggs, we are starting off with very simple 4 copies of the BT7 Digimon. Still the best egg for the deck, because when we play out a Digimon from the sources, we gain a memory. Yeah, so that's obviously just really good. We really need that memory to do our whole combo and keep tempo. And this isn't a deck where we Digivolve a lot on, so you never really need the 5th egg. There are a number of games where I have gotten to my 4th egg, but I've never ran out of eggs. I've always won or lost by the time I get to my 4th egg anyways. In most games, you either go big or go home, so you probably only use 3 eggs. So yeah, so if I play at locals, I have my egg deck like this, so hopefully I can just use the shiny ones. But yeah, there's option for eggs. You can run a 5th one, but then you run the risk of not seeing Bukamon as one of your first eggs, so it's not really worth running at that point. So yeah, 4 copies of Bukamon as the egg. I'll chuck it up there, way in the corner. Going for the rookies, the main rookie of the deck is the BT7 Gomamon. Yeah, it has the on-play effect that if it's played out from sources, you draw 2 cards. Downside is it doesn't have any inheritable or do anything if it's just normal on play. But the draw 2 is fantastic. Really lets you help you see your combo pieces, potentially see aces, removal options, make your second stack. Especially because if we do a full combo, we can use this multiple times in a turn. Yeah, the deck struggles with making its first initial stack. But if you're able to do the combo once with Gomamon in it, then you've drawn enough cards that you should be able to do the combo like every other turn. You won't run out of cards. So definitely MVP, definitely 4 of. I'll do like a little bit of a basic combo and what your deck normally does at the end of the video. The rookies are very flexible in this deck, because they don't have to be Aqua Trait or anything. So for the jamming rookies, I run 3 copies of the BT15 Betamon, and 2 copies of the EX6 Biomon. They both have the same inheritable of jamming. Biomon is a blocker, and Betamon has the on-play that if it's played by an effect, one of our opponent's Digimon can't attack to the end of the turn. They both have pros and cons. This is good against cards that we can't bounce, and we can just make it so they can't attack. The deck lacks protection for the most part. We basically hardly have any protection in the whole deck. So if we can stop them from attacking, it protects our security, and also means they can't use any when attacking effects, or just like raid or regular swing into us. So it's helpful against stuff we can't remove. This is kind of the opposite. It helps against things that we can't really affect, like stuff in the breeding area or hybrid. It's super easy to remove 1k rookie, but they do have to do something to get rid of it. And some decks will have to dedicate their first removal to get rid of this if they want to swing because of the blocker. I feel like 2 of this is enough, because the blocker doesn't come up a lot. Just nice to have the option, so I run 2 of just to try and see at least 1 during the game. And I like Betamon better, because it helps more against threats on the field, whilst this is removed by threats too easily. And Again, the rookies are you can change the rookies as you wish. You can run more jamming rookies if you want. You can cut this out or reduce this. Kind of up to you. But that's what I've got at the moment. So 2 of the Beamon, 3 of the Beamon. Next for the rookies, I run 2 copies of BT11 Penguinmon. I actually really like this card. I know it kind of doesn't offer any jamming like the others, but it allows us to put more sources under our cards because sometimes we run out of sources to put under. And this lets us put blue level 3 or any level Digimon with Aqua or Sea Animal in its traits. And again, there's basically only 3 cards in this deck we can't put under with Penguinmon. And there's so many good choices that then our other stack can then have play out from Penguinmon. It makes it kind of like a 1-card threat that even though it's just a level 3 and it's easy to remove, but you potentially put a big Digimon under it to play out. It's also an emergency draw one, and we don't actually have any rookies that really draw, because there aren't really any rookies in this deck that are good searches. Bandai really needs to add a rookie that just has, on play, look at top 3, top 4, grab something, which we don't have somehow. But yeah, the draw one comes up in emergencies or, just nice anyways. The last rookie is 1 copy of Crabmon. It feels a similar role of jamming, except instead of having the inheritable of jamming, it's on play, gives jamming to one of our Digimon. And then if it's played from one of our sources, we can tuck level 5 or lower blue Digimon under its sources. So like Penguinmon, it also can increase sources, so we can keep playing stuff out. This is slightly worse because it can only put level 5 or lower under, but it's slightly better because we can put something under our big stack, whilst Penguinmon only puts it under itself. So it's pros and cons. I actually liked having a couple of rookies, because these help after you've done your big stack to put more things under, and these are better to play out. So I feel like having at least a couple of these is nice, but you don't want too many of them. But yeah, the deck's really flexible, so you can swap this however you want. These kind of cover the main options. You can also run stuff like the Memory Blocker Beta, Madoki Betamon, or like the Xiangpengmon that they can't reduce Digivolution cost. Pretty much any blue rookie that you like can go into the deck. The only thing I really recommend is probably at least 4 that have jamming inheritable, and the 4 Gravamon. And the rest of the spots are up to you, very flexible. So that's 12 level 3s. Going into level 4s, we run 4 copies of Xiangpengmon. I hope it's pronounced. This is a fantastic level 4 for the deck. Again, jamming inheritable, which is nice. On play, draw 1, and then if it's played from sources, gain a memory. So this is the best Digimon to play out from sources in order to keep our turn going. This can gain a memory, gain a memory. Probably some kind of memory boost or something to gain memory. Makes us able to go from level 4 to level 6 in one turn quite consistently. It's also a good, again, not super deal, but we can play it for 4 just to draw 1. And because you run level 5 aces, the opponent might not want to swing. It's still a kind of a threat. Or we can just Digivolve later potentially. Again, it's not something ideal to do, but it's nice that we have that option. And more draws, always good. So just really fantastic. Just fantastic effect, good inheritable. We can emergency use it in other scenarios. So just really good and definitely a 4 of. Also, it has Aqua in its traits as part of its ruling, so it works with everything else. Next up is 2 copies of the BT15 Digimon. This one has Rush and Inheritable Jamming. So in total, I think this is the last thing that has jamming as an inheritable. So that's 11 jamming inheritables, which sounds like a lot, like maybe too much, but you always want at least 1, so it tends to work out anyways. So this really helps with our aggression, because we bring out a lot of bodies. If we can keep our turn, we want to do something, then this one swing with Rush. Also, because we bring out level 3s so easily in the deck, if we have the memory, we can Digivolve into this, and then, because it has Rush, we can just swing with that too. So it's not only good as a level 4, to bring out. It also can go into any other level 3s to give them rush as well. So yeah, really nice card. There are better cards, to do the comboing off. Like, its main use is just the rush. So I feel like 2 copies is good. You could bump it up to 3 if you want to. Next up, pretty much the only expensive card in the deck is 2 copies of the promo Digimon. It kind of fulfills a similar role as the BT15 Digimon, but in reverse. Because its inheritable is the one that gives rush, rather than its effect itself. So you want to keep this in your sources. Then one of our Digimon that's played out by an effect gains rush. So this is better to keep in the stack, and one of our level 5s or 3s that we bring out will gain rush because of this effect, which is really nice. And even better than jamming, on play or when digivolving, it makes it so one of our blue Digimon can't be deleted in battle. So if we hit a big thing in security, it's okay, can't be deleted. If they block, can't be deleted. If they swing into us next turn, can't be deleted. So that's really nice for this deck. I have temporarily tried it with 3 copies. I only own 2, but I borrowed a friend's, and 3 copies also worked well. So if you happen to have 3 copies, feel free to run 3 of them. But this is the most expensive card in the deck. I don't know how much it is at the moment, but it's probably around like maybe 10-ish bucks on TCG Player as a guess. So you don't need a playset of this. I'll say that, you don't need a playset of it. If you don't want to buy any of it, I would increase the other Digimon, maybe run some other Aqua level 4 cards out there. But I would recommend 1 or 2 definitely if you can get your hands on them. The last level 4 is 2 copies of Digimon. On play, gives one of a Digimon blocker, and if played from sources, we can unsuspend that Digimon as well. The blocker part sometimes comes up, but only like for level 6 or 7. It's kind of cool, we can have a blocker. But more importantly, if it's played from sources, we unsuspend the Digimon. Which obviously is meant to be, so after we've attacked, we can unsuspend to be a big blocker. But I use it more often just to get the extra swing, especially with jamming. We potentially swing like 3 times in a turn with this and the level 5 inheritable. So that's what we want to do. We kind of want to board wipe and then swing really fast before they can reestablish their board, which is hopefully the plan. So I feel like this is a really good 2 of. Unfortunately, no inheritable, but it kind of helps a bit with a little bit defense, but I really like the extra swings that this card lets you do. That's it for level 4. Going on to level 5, the main star of the show is 4 copies of the new Xiangpengmon. It has the on play and when digivolving to play out a level 3 from our sources, which is fantastic. Both because you can digivolve on the stack and do it, and then you can play it out by an effect later and do the effect again. It also has the when attacking, that we can place a Digimon on the field under it to unsuspend it. This is really good to re-get like jamming inheritables that we've played out, give us more sources to play out in future turns, and obviously lets us do 2 swings in a turn rather than 1. So overall, fantastic card, and this is 100% the main level 5 you want to see every time. Every other level 5 is actually just kind of worse or more situational than this card. So yeah, we would definitely want to run it at 4. Next up is 1 copy of Digimon. It's basically the same as Xiangpengmon, but worse. Main thing is it costs 4 to digivolve into rather than 3. It's on play when digivolving is exactly the same. Technically it lets us play purple, but we didn't play purple. The difference is this inheritable, when we play Digimon by effect, gain a memory. Most often, this just kind of makes it same memory efficiency, because it costs 1 more to go into, but we'll gain a memory. The benefit is because it's all turns. If we play something out with like Digimon during the opponent's turn, we can gain a memory during the opponent's turn, which is really nice. But we missed out on this when attacking inheritable. Overall, it's just the worst version of this, I feel. But you still want more copies of this, so you still want 1 or 2 of Digimon. And then 1 copy of Mega Digimon I've been testing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Unlike the other level 5s, this doesn't help you play out stuff. It relies on you already having other Digimon on the field. But by putting one Digimon on our field, well, blue Digimon, under its sources, we can bottom deck one of our opponent's Digimon with equal or less levels. This is good for getting rid of floodgate rookies like Pomemon, because if we have something like just the Gomamon on the field randomly and we Digivolve into this, we can tuck it under, bottom deck their floodgate, then go into big Digimon on top of that. Also, sometimes we do end up with like an extra level 6 or 7 on the field, but no sources. We can go into this, tuck it under, bottom deck one of the big Digimon. And I like that it bottom decks rather than bounces. In saying that, it doesn't really help our main combo. It's more like an emergency removal that the opponent doesn't suspect. So I feel like one of max is good. It does sometimes brick, so I have been considering taking this out and just running 2 Warusidramon. They both have pros and cons. This is better to do your initial combo, and this is better later in the game when you actually have multiple Digimon out. And its when attacking heritable is exactly the same as this. Put something under, unsuspend. But last level 5 is 2 copies of Zudomon Ace. Most people should know that Zudomon Ace is a fantastic ace, probably like the best level 5 ace that came out in BT14. I mean, you got Magna Digimon Ace that also came out in that set, but I feel like Digimon Ace is just really good. Trashing sources means we can often get rid of inherited protection effects or other really annoying effects, and the fact that we can potentially bounce something is really good too. We often end our turn with a lot of Digimon on the field, so having Ace is really good. I do like the Vikemon Ace, but we have so many level 6s that are really important that it's hard to fit a level 6 Ace in. But because our level 5s aren't, like aside from this, we don't need as much level 5s. It's easier to put Ace in at this spot. So 2 copies in one Ace has worked well. Only downside is it's not Aqua or Sea Animal. It's Sea Beast, unfortunately, so we can't play this out from sources with anything. That would make it super busted if we could do that in this deck. Oh my god. Okay, so going on to the level 6s, we have 3 copies of the EX3 Plesiomon. This is both our bigger board extender and our perfect hand combo piece. Because it can play level 4 lower in this deck, because all of our level 4s have Aqua in the trait. Or Aqua or Sea Animal. And not only can this play out at level 4, it also lets us put any blue Digimon from my hand as one of its sources afterwards, which is really good to get any inheritable we want or go into our perfect combo. It also has the very nice inheritable that when we play out a Digimon from sources, we can bottom deck one of our opponent's Digimon with the same level. Note, it has to be the same level, not same level or lower. That's very important, because if we play out a level 4, we actually can't bottom deck a level 3 with this. So you got to keep a level 3 under to bottom deck level 3. So important to note. Obviously, this inheritable will pretty much only work with the level 7. This is also one of the few cards in the deck that doesn't have Aqua or Sea Animal in its traits, so we cannot play this out. Although this one doesn't have an on-play effect anyways. It would be nice if we could play it out as an option, but we can't, so be mindful of that as well. Final level 6 is obviously the main man, or bird, Xiangpengmon. Fantastic card. On play when Digivolving, we can place up to 3 blue Digimon on the field under it. By default, it'll bounce all level 4 and lower back to the hand of both players. But for every Digimon we put under, we increase that level by 1. So if you put 1, bounce level 5 or lower, put 2, level 6 lower, put 3, level 7 or lower. It doesn't bounce itself, it just bounces all other Digimon, because it'd be really bad if it bounced itself. And then your turn, if its sources increase, it lets us play a level 5 or lower with Aqua in its traits from its sources. It might say once per turn, but it actually is very possible to use this twice per turn. So that once per turn actually doesn't really matter if we do the full combo anyways. So we can potentially do it twice in a turn, which is nice. The last Digimon in the deck is 3 copies of Digimon. Again, he's one of the 3 Digimon that doesn't have Aqua in its traits. He's a cyborg, but you wouldn't want to put this under anyways, because this is something we want to Digivolve into. When Digivolving, lets us play level 3 Digimon or anything with Digimon in its name or Aqua in its traits. This is really good because it plays out majority of our stuff. And now we have an Aqua with a really good on-play effect. Digimon to play out Xiangpeng is what we do majority of the time. It also has the opponent's turn effect that if they play a Digimon, that's either just hard play or by an effect, we get to activate its when Digivolving effect again. This lets us do some really cool things, stuff like stealing a memory during the opponent's turn, and board wiping during the opponent's turn as well. So they do have to be wary. Unlike the Leviamon deck, we don't actually have a card that forces the opponent to play a Digimon, so they do have to kind of walk into it per se. But for some decks, it's really hard for them to avoid doing it. And other decks, it's pretty easy. So it depends what deck you're going up against. So those are the Digimon. Feel free to take a screenshot because I'll be putting the options on top of it. So going into the options again, as you can see, not much really searches if you don't have the sources. Gomamon draws 2, but for example, if you're missing level 4 or level 5, the Gomamon does nothing. So basically, our searching in the deck without Gomamon is like a draw 1 from this and draw 1 from this. And that's basically it. And because of that, we run a lot of searching options. So first of all, running 4 copies, a full 4 copies of Blue Memory Boost. This is the best card just to improve overall consistency. What we want to see a Digimon, we don't really run many essential options or tamers. So I feel like Memory Boost has an advantage over the training in this scenario. And also it hits 4 cards, so it's easier to see exactly what we want. Also, the memory can kind of help if we need to play out a Digimon, and the training boost won't let us give that memory to just hard play something, whilst this does. So that's why I decided to run 4 copies of the Blue Memory Boost. But we're not ignoring the blue training, mental training. We're running 3 copies of mental training, for a total of 7 searching options in the deck, which is wild. But you really need as much consistency as possible, and you really need a bigger explosive turn as possible as well. This is kind of personal preference. You can run 4 training and 3 memory boost. You can also take out 1 memory boost to do a 3-3 split and add in another card, which will be the next card I reveal. But either way, just improving consistency and making it easier to go straight from a 4 to a 6 or a 7 in 1 turn. So the other card to improve consistency and memory is 1 copy of Davis. You can run it 2, run it 1. The list I saw actually ran 0 Davis, but I really like at least 1 memory tamer. It's nice if you see it early or if they hint it in security, because it kind of guarantees you get the 3 memory, and it still searches cards as well. If you open multiple, it's kind of worse than opening multiples of them. So I feel like 1 is fine, but you can take out a memory boost for a second Davis. If you don't like Davis, you could take it out and run 4-4 split. But I kind of like running at least 1 tamer. So that's what I went with. And the last card is 2 copies of Great Maelstrom. This is really good when you already have Digimon out, because you can put 1 Digimon under another to make it a 6 cost bottom deck, which is really efficient. And because we also increase the sources, this works well with Xiangpeng after it's used its effect, because we can get its effect again, so whatever we put under, we can probably just play back out. And then of its security is just activate its main effect, which lets us, bottom deck something. There are a number of blue options which are really good too. You can run the Mirage Galgamon option, which is more memory efficient sometimes, and works on an empty board. The Mirage Galgamon is actually really funny with Xiangpeng, because if we bounce a really wide board, they'll probably have a really big hand, and then we can use the Mirage Galgamon option for reduced cost. We get memory back afterwards. But I like this one because it fits thematically, and it works quite well as well. So that is the deck profile. So feel free to take a screenshot of this if you want to see the full deck. And then I'm just going to quickly go through like an ideal combo. So quickly putting these cards away, just so you can see an example combo of what I normally like to do in a game. So first I'll show you standard combo, and then I'll show like a perfect hand. So standard combo, Digimon, level 3, might not matter, but let's just say it's a Gomamon. Looks pretty good. Level 4 was a lot of different options. But we'll say, we can just say it's, I don't know, let's say it's Promo Digimon as an example. Level 5, we went. So we could have something like this in the breeding area. I'll put it here so it's easier, no glare. But let's say this is in the breeding area. And in order to get this point, we probably want at least, maybe we're set to 3 with a Davis. Or more likely we're not set to anything, and we might have 1 mental training and 1 memory boost. So let's say the opponent puts us on 2 memory, and this is we start our turn with 2 memory, and this in breeding area. We'll draw for turn and push out. Cracking the mental training, we'll go into Xiangpengmon for 1. So we're down to 1 memory. Its effect will play out the Digimon, and we'll draw 2 cards. Cool. We'll then gain a memory with the egg, effectively making the Digivolution 0. So we're still at 2 memory. Digimon will give Gomamon Rush. So, if we want, we can rush with it. Probably don't, but we can. We can use the other memory boost to go back up to 4 memory. And then we can Digivolve into Xiangpengmon. Because we only have 1 Digimon, we'll just put 1 under to bounce all the opponent's level 5 and lower Digimon. Then, because its source is increased, we'll then play out level 5 or lower. So we'll play out the Xiangpengmon, and then Xiangpengmon effect. Play out the Gomamon, which will then draw us an extra 2 cards. So during this combo, we've also drawn 1 for Digivolving into a level 5, and drawn 1 for Digivolving into a level 6. So we wouldn't start this combo unless we had everything, but after we do this combo, we basically have 6 new cards to hopefully go into our next level 6, level 7, make a new stack, etc. If you do draw 6 of this, it's very hard to brick if you've drawn 6, because you've gone through so much. At this point, we're actually still at 0 memory if the opponent put us on 2. And we've used both our options. So we do have the option to go into something even bigger. If we don't have Aegis in hand, we might have drawn it in the 6 cards. But we could go into Aegis, passing opponent with 4 memory. Aegis will then play out Xiangpengmon. And then Xiangpengmon effect can put the level 5 and the level 3 under, to then bounce all opponents level 6 or lower. Well, bounces are level 6 or lower, but thankfully Aegis is 7, so it's not bounced. So yeah, not only have we bounced over level 5 and lower, we can then also just rebounce over level 6 and lower if they have anything left. Then Xiangpengmon effect. Because it's played up from the sources, it counts as a new Digimon. It's not in the same stack, it's a new one. So it's 1 per turn, activates once again. To play out level 5, play out the Gomamon. I forgot to draw 1 card for Digivolving into Aegis. And then Gomamon will draw us an extra 2 cards. So we should have drawn 9 cards. 3 for Digivolving and 6 for using Gomamon effect 3 times in a turn. And then we've also bounced over level 5 and lower, and then over level 6 and lower. If they have level 7s during this combo, we could put the Aegis under it. It won't really do anything, like we kind of lose the stack and don't want to do it. But if we need to bounce level 7s, that's also a way, because you can put up to 3 under, so we can do that as well. And yeah, that's basic thing. Probably board white, and we've got a lot of stuff going on. Not only that, we can almost thread in game. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 swings. If you didn't do a swing prior, we can also Digivolve onto this, do a lot of cool stuff. If the opponent plays stuff, there's nothing stopping us going into another Aegis to playing another Xiangpengmon, put 2 under, bounce all level 6 and lower, and then spit these 2 back out again. As long as we have Xiangpeng and Aegis in hand, we can basically bounce to level 6 and lower every single turn. So that's something they have to watch out for. If they play something during our turn, the only thing we have left in this stack is level 4. So that would be the only thing we could play out during the opponent's turn, but we can make it so one of our Digimon can't be destroyed in battle, which could be nice, I guess. More importantly, if this does play out something during the opponent's turn, this is now 5 swings, which means any extra swing we can do could be game. So that's one example of how a single stack can basically go into kind of double board wipe and thread in like 4 or 5 checks the next turn. Going into a perfect board, again, we'll assume where we have some, we really need these cards. So let's say we just have 1 memory boost and 1 training yet again. Let's say we have a Bukamon, Gomamon as the egg, not egg rookie. This will go Shishimon as the level 4. We'll say we have this in hand, we'll have this and that, and we'll have a copy of the Xiangpengmon. Cool. Again, this is a super idealized board state. But you know, I mean, the whole point is to kind of see what you can do in an ideal situation. So we have this in breeding area, maybe these from the field. Again, it could be at 3 memory and only 1 of this, could have the tamer, but this is just an example. I like to use 2 memory and 2 of this as an example, but you can mix it up a little bit. Basically, we have the level 5, both level 6s and the level 7 in our hand. Okay, so start of our turn, bring out the level 4. Pretty nice. Again, we'll use the mental training. So we'll say we're at 2. We'll use this to reduce the cost by 2. So once again, we go to 1 memory to digivolve into this. And we draw a blank card. We'll play out level 3. And then we'll gain a memory from the egg. So we'll be back at 2 memory. Gomamon effect, we will draw 2 cards. So yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty much the same as before. Use the memory boost, you know, at 4 memory. But this time we're going into Plesio for 3. So going down to 1 memory. Draw for Digivolve. Plesiomon can play out a level 4 from under its sources. And then you can put a blue Digimon under. This time we're putting the Xiangpeng under it. Shishimon will gain us the memory. So we're back up to 2. And draws us a card. Then on 2, we'll pass turn by going into Aegis-demon. Draw for Digivolve. Putting our opponent at 2 memory. Aegis-demon can play out something from our sources. So I'll play out Xiangpeng. We have both triggers of the Inheritable and Xiangpeng at the same time, depending what order you want to do it. For simplicity's sake, we'll put level 3 and level 4 under to bounce all opponents level 6 and lower. And then because we played out a level 6, we can bottom deck one of the level 6s as well. So yeah, we'll bounce all the level 6 and lower and then bottom deck one of the level 6s. Depending what they have, you can choose what order. If they have no protection, you might as well just bottom deck for level 6 and then bounce the rest. If they have some kind of inherited protection, like you're versing Greymon, you'll try and bounce them first, and then you'll try and bottom deck them. But it depends what deck you're versing. Again, note that this is level specific. So in this combo, you can only bottom deck a level 6 in this example. And then because our Xiangpeng sources increase, we can play out a level 4 or lower. So we could play out Gomamon to draw an extra 2 cards. Or we can play out the Shishimon to draw a card and gain a memory. So let's say we do that one instead. And then on play, we'll draw another card and gain a memory. So the opponent is now at 1 memory from this combo, which is pretty nice. And then this doesn't look like a lot, but this is still really strong. We haven't drawn as many cards because we didn't spam out Gomamon as many times, but we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I think is pretty good. Yeah, so then what we'll do next turn is, if they play out a Digimon, Aegismon can play out from any source. So if they play a level 3, we can bring out the level 3 and then Plesio will bottom deck it. Or if they play level 5, we can bring out the level 5, which then cleanse out the level 3. So, even better. I mean, we can do this if they play level 3 too, because I'm derping. So that's probably the main threat. We can bring out 5 and 3 during the opponent's turn. If level 4 is the thing they're most likely to play, we would keep level 4 under, bring out level 3, and then wait for them to play something to then bottom deck level 4. But that kind of requires prior deck knowledge and knowing what you're up against. But yeah, let's say they do play level 3. We will then play out the level 5, which will play out the level 3. Then with Plesio, we'll bottom deck the level 3 that they played. And yeah, this ends up with 5 Digimon. So we've got potential for game next turn if we can get an extra attack in. If we did not do that, and let's say it goes back to our turn, we'll hatch an egg, start digivolving on a new stack. What we can do is swing with one of our Digimon, maybe. If we're risking it, we can swing with a level 12. It won't have jam or anything, but we could risk it. We could also Aegis. And then when attacking, we can put something under to unsuspend it. This means we can put this under to unsuspend it. And then we can get 2 checks with jamming. Alternatively, we could put Xiangpengmon under. We won't have jamming, but we're still forcing K, so that's pretty good. 2 swings. And it means if they play another Digimon out, we can do the Xiangpeng again. So, if they play another Digimon out, bring a Xiangpeng, tuck it under, bounce over level 5 and lower, bring it out, gain a memory, draw a card. Playing this during the opponent's turn is also nice, because its on play isn't just your turn, we can gain a memory during the opponent's turn as well. But yeah, I think that covers the basics. Depending what you end up on the field, if you have a level 4 on the field, it's quite easy to go into ace threat. This with other cards, again, we could digivolve on this, and if we have nothing in the stack, we could put this under to bottom deck one of their level 6 or lower Digimon, and then if they play a Digimon, Aegismon will bring it back out. In emergency, if they have a level 7, we can put the level 7 under, and this will bottom deck level 7. So that's why this is kind of nice too. But yeah, overall, deck ratio is pretty flexible. I hope you peoples enjoy the video, kind of a longer one, but I just wanted to kind of go through what the deck can do. Yeah, mainly these 2 cards, fantastic with each other. The ability to potentially bounce board wipe almost every turn is really good when it gets going. And the main problem is consistency and seeing all your pieces and having the memory. So having as many of these as possible is essential. But with that, hope you enjoyed. This is K Time out. Feel free to like and comment, etc. And